Well, welcome back again, everyone. And today I'm reviewing the oddest looking cigar I've seen in several years. You'll see what I mean when you get this view. This is the CAO Right Coast, and here's the cigar. And I'm going to turn it slowly to show you why it's so odd. There's the end view. We'll go ahead and say there's your density. Now, if you look, it is shaped very flat on one side. This is flat. And then it's trapezoidal shaped here. It's just one curve, and it's flat on the bottom. There's, again, the end view of what you're looking at. It is extremely dark. You could almost call it black, but it's just shy. It's a sort of an oscuro wrapper. And this is, for you large cigar lovers, a monster. 6 3/4 by 72. Now, I know this much about this cigar. All I know is it's available to southeastern shops in the United States only, therefore the Right Coast. There's also a Left Coast version. This uses a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, and the binder and the filler are a mystery to me and I guess most people except the CAO people. But there is some Colombian tobacco in here. So that is about the extent of it. The key points are its odd shape and its size, 72 ring gauge. So we may be here quite a while, but we're going to give it a go. The CAO Right Coast. This is going to be interesting in order to cut. I don't believe my Zycar is going to come out so well. So what I'm going to do is use my scissors. I have these Zycar scissors. I'm not sure that's going to actually work, but I'm going to try. This is just extremely odd. I'm going to show you what I'm going to try to do here. Can you see this? No, there you go. Not satisfied with that. Okay. I'm actually going to try to make that work. Look at that. Okay, everybody can write in and tell me how stupid that looks, and I can't argue, but what I'm going on is if you take the pointy end of a torpedo or bellicoso and you clip off the end, you get just a small air path. Let's try it with this. There you go, right there. All right. I can get a draw through it. This is just about an odd looking cigar. Do you remember years ago Alec Bradley had the Trilogy? And it was a triangular shaped cigar. So this is about the closest thing that I can tell you it's like. Wonder how the cigar will burn. Well, right away it's a very earthy cigar with espresso notes. You could reverse that. Espresso noted earthy cigar. There's a touch of cedar in there, but it is very much buried under the espresso and earth. So, and the pepper is very, very low right now. I mean, we're talking about 3 or 4. It's very low on the scale at this moment. But again, it may be overshadowed by the earth and the espresso. There are some sweet notes somewhere hidden. At this early stage, I can't tell you what they are. But we're going to give it time to come into its own, and we'll check that burn. But the CAO Right Coast is underway, and it is a behemoth. Here we go. Well, I guess I'm a half inch in. It's hard to say because the burn is all over the place. There's the bottom side, there's the top trapezoidal side. I decided to hold it with the flat side up. It makes more comfortable in your hand, plus that's where I've got it cut. No rules here, I'm learning as we go. But the flavors are still a lot like we discussed initially. A lot of espresso notes, heavy espresso, earth. Now there are some lightly sweet cedar notes, and it appears to be cocoa mixed with those. That's the flavor I'm getting. Pepper is still about like we talked about. And the finish is sort of a cocoa-laden cream. Very odd, very little lingering pepper. It feels, it has the flavor and the feel of being fairly full-bodied right out of the gate. So it's probably the darkness of the flavors that giving it that appearance. But we're going to truck along here. If the cigar can pick up some significant sweetness, and even if it is cocoa, that's fine. But right now it's very dark. Anxious to see where it goes from here. Well, I would say I'm about 1.5 inches in. The burn is still bad. There's the flat side. There's what I call the trapezoidal side. That little piece is about to self-correct, but you still have this flat side's not burning properly at all, and I'm going very slow. Anyway, the flavors have picked up, they've improved. The earth notes are decreased quite a bit. The espresso is more in line with straight coffee now. The cedar notes are elevated with some sweetness, and the cocoa notes attached to them are elevated. The pepper is also elevated. It's probably up to about a 5 or 6. The finish is now more of a very sweet cream, and it's just a touch of lingering pepper. The pepper is a black pepper, but it's just not intense. So the cigar has improved. The burn has not. I am hoping this gets a little better, but it's just the way it's pressed. I'm sure it's just got something to do with that. But other than that, it's still, it doesn't feel quite as full-bodied as it did, which I attribute to those dark flavors. It may have been falsely giving me the impression of being full-bodied, but it's more along the lines of medium to full. And I like the fact that the cedar and cocoa became elevated and the earth notes decreased. So that's where we are at about 1.5 inches. A long way to go. Well, I'm close to the band, as you can see, and while the burn did somewhat even up and that little piece in the previous segment did finally drop off, I have not touched it up at all, but here's where the burn stands, and as you can see, it is not even at all. But the flavors have sort of cycled back around. They are more of espresso notes now. It's a heavy coffee with earth, and the cedar and cocoa have decreased. So now everything is almost going back to the way it was at the beginning. That's about the long and the short of it. I would say everything else, the finish is about the same. Yeah. A little bit of lingering pepper. As a matter of fact, I think the pepper is better on the finish than it is on the front end. And that's odd. But I'll remove the band here shortly. I'm an hour and a half in at this point. As you can see, I'm taking my time. It's burning slowly. It's just not burning evenly. But be that as it may, we will strive onward. I'll be back as soon as something else changes. Well, believe it or not, I'm at the end, but the burn has been horrible. It got worse as it went, but I wanted to show you this. There's your burn. It just will not burn at all evenly. The flavors are not that bad. I enjoyed the espresso. I enjoyed the cedar and cocoa. It had some sweetness. It had some good points. It had some good highlights, if you will. The pepper didn't really bother me that it wasn't that strong, but it really wasn't. The finish was very nice. The burn is the thing that drags the score down for me. I'm sure the folks at CAO thought they had a good idea by creating this shape, and it is really cool to look at, but it just doesn't burn. And I challenge you to buy these yourself and see if you get a better burn. I saw where they run around $8 a piece, comes in one size. So try it yourself, see if you can do any better. At this point, I'm over 2.5 hours into the cigar, so I haven't been going fast. It's just it will not burn evenly. So for that matter, with that pulling the score down, I'm rating the score at 85. Flavors are okay, burns horrible. So there you have it, the CAO Right Coast 85.